What's up everybody? Today I'm going to be diving into the Taylormade Tour Spider and building a custom Rory Mcilroy inspired replica. If you haven't noticed, Rory's been out on tour and winning on tour, sporting a unique look to his Taylormade Spider. It is a raw torched finish. I thought it would be cool to get that exact model that Rory Mcilroy plays and show you the behind the scenes of what goes into building a putter that looks exactly like Rory Mcilroy's and how Taylormade did it. So let's get into it. Starting off, I'm going to use a torch to heat up the stock epoxy to pull the head off so it's easy to work with. Next, I'm going to pull off the back weights and set those aside. Adding some heat to the back of the putter here is going to help pull this back plate off. Trying to loosen up the epoxy under this bottom plate to get this plate taken off. Here you can see everything that's inside used to add weight to this putter and dampen the sound. You gotta scrape off all this old epoxy in order to pull out this little rubber piece. Next, we're going to remove these dampening pads. This stuff is super sticky, so you have to be careful of making a mess. It's nearly impossible to get replacement inserts from Taylormade, so this is a super important step of this process to make sure we remove this safely so it's still good for use. First, I'm going to use a razor blade to inch my way into this gasket material. Some are easier than others. I'm going to add some heat to the back of it so the adhesive is a little looser. I start by wedging in a little pick and lifting up the insert just a little bit so I can get a screwdriver in below it. So you're not prying at the side, you're actually prying from the bottom. Alright, I did some work off camera to get this thing cleaned up and ready to throw in the sandblast machine. I got the adhesive from the double-sided tape behind the face insert cleaned off, most of the goo from inside of the head. We're going to throw this thing in the sandblast machine and completely strip the OEM finish and make this a raw head. The only thing we don't want to touch is the threads for these back weights, so I went and taped those off. When torching a head, I like to first start with a regular heat gun to make sure the whole head is up to temperature before laying a torch on it. Now that we got the head torched, we're gonna let it sit in the oil for about 30 minutes. Now what that does, when you heat up a raw metal and dip it into the oil actually quenches into the metal, so that's gonna help protect and keep that torch finish. Now that we got the oil all dried off, you can really see the color pop. This is absolutely one of my favorite finishes to do on any putter. It just looks so good in the sunlight. Now, Taylormade uses those foil pads and extra hot melt to get the head weight where they want it. We're gonna be reusing those foil pads, and then instead of the hot melt, we're just gonna be using some lead tape to get the extra weight we need. Using the lead tape, we're gonna be distributing the weight evenly on both of these sides here. Now, once we get the weight where we need it, we're gonna seal up the club by putting that back plate on with some shafting epoxy. Here I am just calculating how much lead tape I'm gonna need. I needed just over 6.5 grams. I ended up using 5.7 grams of lead tape, assuming that the epoxy for the bottom plate as well as the VHB tape for the face insert and back plate make up the difference. The time has come to put the pure roll insert back into the head. Before we do that, I'm gonna go ahead and clean up the insert, especially the back where the old adhesive is still there. If there's any imperfections caused by the removal process, you're gonna wanna clean up those edges as well.
Whatever happened to make a fool out of me? I was lost in the idea of it all.
Because the gasket material is pretty messy, I'd choose to tape off the face to make sure it stays clean.
And I don't know where I run to, but it could be oblivion. I dream I was making love to a whole new life. Learned my lesson once, I'll skip the reminder of what's left for me. If I turn around, you let me down.
All right, now that we got the face insert in, I'm gonna let this gasket material sit overnight. But before I do that, I'm gonna lay down the paint for the sight line so that could also sit overnight and dry. I'll let it sit right there and be back tomorrow to finish it up. Alrighty, we are back and it is the next day. We are ready to finish this putter. First things first, I'm gonna grab some acetone and a blue towel to clean up any of the excess paint that was laid down on the sight line yesterday. Time to seal up the bottom of this putter and put the bottom plate on. Most people use glass shafting beads, but I prefer to just go grab a little bit heavier blasting material to mix in with my epoxy. Now, even though I do use a quick set epoxy, we still do have to give that some time to sit and cure before it is fully ready to throw in the bag and go play. But there you have it, the Taylormade Tour X Spider custom Rory Mcilroy inspired torched raw finish. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. If you haven't already, hit the subscribe button. Gonna be doing a lot more videos of custom putter builds as well as giveaways, so stick around for that. Check out our website, happybadgolf.com. The link will be in the description. And check out our current vintage inspired apparel collection. You'll see the heartbeat of the Muni hat that I've been wearing for the entirety of this video, as well as our Happy Bad Workshop vintage distressed tee. This stuff is top of the line, highest quality I can make. If you support the video, support the brand, go get yourself some.